in Glacier National Park, British Columbia, and okay, well, there's the pack. Probably the heaviest I've ever had it, because I got essentially all the gear, including stuff I'd never had before, like bear spray. And so yeah, so if you look across the highway here, you can see that up there, which is probably the most massive craggy peak I have ever seen in my entire life. I know the camera's not going to do it justice, but hey, that's the way it goes, because you're not here and I am. So that's Mount McDonald there, and in behind this hill here is what's called Avalanche Crest, I believe. And so if you see the sign over there, it says Hermit, so I'm going to be hiking in to these woods over here after having perused all of the information here. Okay, so it's me again, still on the Hermit Trail. We are now at 167 meters of altitude from the bottom, and I'm having to take more frequent rest stops than I would have liked because the air is quite thin. Rogers Pass itself is, I forget exactly, but it's about 1 kilometer high, and then I'm going to be adding probably another 15 to 1800 meters to that. So the air is very thin, and I'm finding it, I'm breathing harder than I normally would. And of course I got the heavier pack, but on the other hand, I'm going to be camping up at the top, so I need all the extra gear. And it also means that I'm not in any particular hurry. It's already 3 o'clock, and I'm not too worried about it. If you look around, you can see the mature cedar forest, which is very typical of this particular area. I haven't seen much in the way of wildlife yet, aside from 2 tourists and 1 small red squirrel. So that's basically the idea. I'm going to rearrange some stuff in my pack, drink some water, and continue on. Okay, so just because I feel like it, I'm going to pretend that I'm some sort of serious internet blogger now. So I've been getting a lot of feedback, emails and blog posts and Twitters, and I just checked the tweets from all my fans, and they have been asking me, hey Geoff, what exactly is bear spray? So I'm going to tell you what bear spray is. Bear spray is essentially pepper spray. You may be familiar with pepper spray from the various antics of the RCMP with respect to people who don't speak English or French. Anyway, we won't go there. We're just going to look at what bear spray is. So let's have a good look here. I'm holding it in my hand. This is bear spray. As you can see, it resembles the regular pepper spray, if ever you've seen it. It's perhaps a larger canister. This is actually a small canister. You can get a much bigger one if you plan on running into, you know, herds of bear. I don't. Okay, so the actual reason that I stopped here is because I sort of wanted to show you this. If you can look across the way, that's Mount McDonald that I pointed out earlier from the bottom. It's absolutely spectacular. I'm going to go ahead and assume it's named after Sir John A. Macdonald, although I don't know that for a fact, so don't quote me. We've gained, look at that, we're already at 229 meters in altitude from the highway. You can actually, if you listen carefully, still hear the cars down below, even though we're well above them now. You can get a good look over there on Mount McDonald at some of the small glaciers up there, and it looks like a bit of a moraine valley. And so this is the path that I've come up. I already passed one of the tourists on his way back down. He's a smoker, and he said he couldn't do it because the air is too thin. He is in fact correct, the air is very thin. So I'm going to be heading up there in a minute. And I thought you might like to see this. If you can, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a bush there with berries on it. Mostly denuded, most likely by the various creatures that like this kind of berry. The mountain elk, mountain goats, bighorn sheep, and of course the bears. Okay, well, so we got to go up there now. The last time I remember being this out of breath and sweaty, I had run a half marathon. Anywho, you can see more of the cedars here, and there's actually a fine rain of needles falling, oddly enough. Just past, I don't know if you noticed, but at the end of the last video, you might have heard some voices. That was actually two kind of scary-looking Parks Canada employees tending the trail with pickaxes. So I naturally hid myself behind a tree. No, I didn't. I said hi to them. Okay, so right now we're at 268 meters, and we've lost about 4 degrees from the base camp there. So yeah, back to the bear spray. The bear spray, the small canister will spray for about 10 seconds. So if you have a very large bear, you're going to want to confine that to short bursts and then get out a hunting knife. Just a word to the wise there. Yeah, bye. We're now at 408 meters altitude. So on the Hermit Trail, you're looking at Mount Macdonald across the valley known as Rogers Pass. Stand up here on this rock, you ought to be able to see way down there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's the Trans-Canada Highway. And if you look over in this direction, you can see a service station again on the Trans-Canada. And that right there is the highest point in Rogers Pass. The mountain in the background is called Avalanche Mountain. And I'm going to see if I can't hike that tomorrow. So as you can see, looking around, we're kind of climbing up out of the spruce forest into, well, it's kind of a scrub evergreen. Soil's very thin here. We're getting close to the tree line. I'm not sure exactly where the campsite is, but it can't be that much further up here. And apparently there's some other climbers who are already there, so I hope to meet some interesting people. I'm kind of hoping I find a stream or something, because I'm already gone through a third of my water. Just schwitzing like a pig here. Schwitzing is Yiddish for sweating, just in case anybody wanted to know. I'm just a mine of information here. It's incredible. Okay, so yeah, when I get to the campsite, I'll do another one of these, and that's about it for now. See ya. Okay, just another little side note here. Some of the more observant among you may have noticed during my last update these low bushes bearing what looks suspiciously like blueberries. Now you have to be very, very careful up here in the Rockies, because what these actually are is blueberries. They're unusually large, unusually tasty, and really absolutely kick-ass wild blueberries here. You very rarely see them this size outside of a supermarket. And I'm just going to taste one here. Now I know that you can't taste this through the magic of digital video, and actually I don't really feel sorry for you at all. These are absolutely delicious. They're just wonderful. I mean, they're so sweet. Of course, the thing to keep in mind when you find an area which is absolutely thick with blueberry bushes, as it is here, is that this is just a great habitat for bears, and consequently an extremely poor habitat for hikers. But that's okay. I've got the bear spray. I'm loaded, literally, for bear. See ya. Okay, so here's your panoramic shot. Right now we're at 525 meters altitude, or elevation. You can see the Avalanche Ridge off there in the distance, and of course Mount Macdonald. Can't see the road anymore down there, but it is down there, I'm quite sure. And the campsite, I'm told, is somewhere around here, so we're just going to have to look around and find it. I'm feeling quite a bit better, actually. Either I'm getting used to the air, or it's those blueberries, which are just ridiculously delicious. I mean, honestly, wow. I mean, what a reward for coming up here. I mean, apart from the view, of course. Okay, so that's it from 525 meters, and I'll see you at the top. At 685 meters elevation right now, and I got to tell you, This is quite possibly the most mind-bendingly spectacular thing I've ever seen. I'm standing in a little bit of a valley here. There's a stream running through it a little bit further down. If you look way off there over the ridge, that's the Trans-Canada Highway. And you can see we're a fair piece above that, 685 meters or whatever I just said. And interestingly, there's still some fully mature evergreens up here. But it's a lot more of the typical alpine vegetation that you would see, you know, grasses, moss, lichens, lots of lichens. You gotta like the lichens. And see up there, that's where I'm headed. So somebody's been kind enough to actually put in some stones here for those of us who are less mobile than others. Not trying to make any comments here, I'm just saying. And of course, the infinitely spectacular Mount MacDonald. So 777 meters above the highway, and this is where I'm camping. So this is an alpine meadow, I would say sort of at the tree line. You still got some scrub here, but basically at the tree line. Got some other campers down here. These are actually professional guides on a training course. They've been nice enough to point out one of these platforms that I can use for camping. Down there on the heather would have been okay too, but it's kind of wet. So, apparently it's supposed to go down to about 1 degree tonight. So it's going to be a bit chilly, but I should be okay. I think I have everything I need. You can probably see down there there's trails sort of going here and there up higher on Hermit Mountain here. So I'm going to get my tent set up, and I don't know, I mean, I'm at a loss for words. This is, I mean, it's beyond epic. This is crazy. So, yeah, I'm gonna get my tent set up, get something to eat, and then I'll probably just conk out because I'm a little bit tired after that climb. You can see the peaks over there in the distance. They're enshrouded in clouds. I kind of hope the clouds don't come and sock us in here, because it's going to be awfully hard to find our way back down tomorrow morning. I don't know, I expect Bear Grylls to be jumping out of a helicopter any minute now, but whatever, I don't see him. So that's the gist from near the peak of Hermit Mountain, 777 meters above the Trans-Canada Highway. So this is home sweet tent. I only have to fiddle around a little bit with rocks, and you can see the sun is already set behind Hermit Mountain, so it's actually getting quite cool, cooling off pretty fast. It's already down to about 20 degrees. We'll see what it's like tonight, but seeing as my problem is usually being too hot and not too cold, I don't think I'll have a problem. Before the light fails, I might try one of these other trails here now that I've unburdened myself of the bulk of my gear. And that's about it. So next time I see you will be the next time I see you.